AutoZone Liberty Bowl as part of Capital One Bowl Mania. Mississippi State making the short trip up from Starkville, taking on Texas Tech. Wreckham is in the house. The Bulldogs and the Red Raiders, the first meeting between these two teams since 1970. It's been 51 years, but they finally meet. And here come the Red Raiders, sporting the Texas flag, as we get set for this AutoZone Liberty Bowl from Memphis, Tennessee. And obviously, in some games, you have to search for storylines. Not today. Mike Leach facing a team that he once coached for a decade. Led him to a school record 84 wins. The winningest coach in Texas Tech history. Also took him to 10 straight bowl games. Had a winning record each season. And what makes it even more ironic is the interim coach for Texas Tech was his quarterback in 2004. Of course, it all ended unceremoniously for Mike Leach in 2009 when he got into a bit of an issue with a player, led to his eventual firing at the end of the season. Still harbors some ill will toward those at Texas Tech as the Red Raiders make their appearance here at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. And a pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome inside the broadcast booth. I'm Dave Neal. This is one of the greatest college football running backs in history, an all-pro or in the NFL, Deuce McAllister. Glad you could join us tonight. And Deuce, obviously, these games are about the players, but this one maybe a little bit more than just that, with Mike Leach facing Texas Tech, the first time he squared off against them since he left 12 years ago. What kind of impact does that have in tonight's game?
Well, I think it'll have a small impact. I mean, the games will always be about the players, and we know just from Coach Leach's his own words, it's only a couple of people that he doesn't have a great feeling with as far as Texas Tech is concerned. The community, the university, he still loves. He still is admired at that university, and so for him, he wants it to be about the players.
Yeah, well, certainly this is going to be an interesting game. We mentioned Sonny Cumbie, who not only is a Texas Tech alum, but the interim coach who just took a job as the head coach at Louisiana Tech. But still, he's a guy that played for Coach Leach, and there's still some value in that. For more on that story, let's go down to Andrea Carter.
Thanks, Dave. Sonny Cumbie told me that the number one lesson that he learned from his time under Mike Leach is how important it is for you to believe in what you're doing, whether it's the air raid or the option or the wing tee. Whatever you do with your team, you have to believe in it, and that belief is crucial for this Texas Tech team. If you look at the staff, there are multiple coaches moving on in different directions, like you just said, but Coach Cumbie said that does not matter. This is a staff of professionals that truly care about these players. They have a strong belief in their game plan, which is important because, you know, Mike Leach has a strong belief in his quarterback, Will Rogers, and his air raid offense.
Well, thanks, Andrea. And speaking of Will Rogers, very few have put up the kind of numbers in the history of the game that Will Rogers has under this air raid offense with Mike Leach at Mississippi State. And really, you know, it's hard to think that this was what it was going to turn out to be a year ago when Will Rogers was just a freshman trying to learn this offense. But Deuce, this has been incredible what he's done this year.
Well, it's been really impressive, and I think when you look at it overall, it's because he's been able to go to not just one guy, but multiple receivers, and he plays really fast. And so for him to be able to pick up this system that quickly is impressive for Will Rogers. And we'll just go through a couple different looks here, and he identifies really, really well as far as whether it's via motion of where he wants to go with the football, has an outstanding release, very quick with the football. They do a lot of different things. Here you have the mesh concept, a couple guys running crosser routes. You can watch how he sets his feet to be able to come off of the number one, the number two guy, and just being able to climb the pocket. Nice job of standing in there, getting the ball to the receiver here. They're running a screen up top. He sees it. He doesn't like that look. He's able to reset, go to his number two receiver coming across the middle, and then comes back to the curl, the number three guy. That is where he makes the throw. So Will Rogers can really do a lot of things, and I'm interested to see how he comes out and performs today.
Well, obviously, Dak Prescott is the quarterback most associated with Mississippi State football, at least right now, because here comes Will Rogers. Look at the difference. Now, I know there are different offenses that they played in, but Dak had some kind of senior season back in 2015. Look at those numbers compared to what Will Rogers has done here in his sophomore campaign. 473 completions. I mean, it is just, he's gotten more comfortable. He understands what the reads are. He understands what Coach Leach wants. And it's been a fun offense to watch. Will Texas Tech have enough, certainly, to handle this Mississippi State offense? And yes, the Cowbells made their way to Memphis. Mississippi State won the toss. They deferred. So Texas Tech will get the football first tonight from the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. It should be duly noted that moments before kickoff, we found out that there are 10 major contributors to Mississippi State's team, 4 of which are starters that are unavailable to play tonight. This is a team that last year went through numerous games with just a shade over 40 scholarship players. They have been in this situation before. We'll see how they handle it tonight as this kick sails into the end zone for a touchback and out to the 25-yard line. Well, the young man in charge of running the show for Texas Tech's offense, Donovan Smith. He is a big dude, 6'5", 230-pound redshirt freshman. They have played 3 quarterbacks this year at Texas Tech. Donovan Smith has been the one that's taken them down the stretch. He's had some great games, had an outstanding game in his first start against Iowa State, but here he is in his first bowl game to lead this offense.
Dave, I think one of the things that you have to be aware of, his ability to be able to scramble and extend plays, that's one of the things that Mississippi State has to be able to control.
A lot of RPO game with Donovan Smith at quarterback. They will throw it. Pass is caught by the tight end Koontz. A flag down around the 21-yard line.
Illegal formation by Texas Tech. They had 2 guys on the line of scrimmage.
Well, they gained 5, lost 5.
That's one of the things that, as a coach, you don't want pre-snap penalties, whether that's offense or defense. You've been off a lot of times, and so guys have to make sure, hey, look, I'm on the ball, you're off the ball. You send a guy in motion. Those are the little things that you don't want to beat you.
Texas Tech in the top 25 in fewest penalties this year, averaging just about 4 penalties per game. Picked up one on the first play, inside handoff. This one goes to Roderick Thompson, who continues to move out near the 30-yard line. They'll spot him back, though, at the 26, a gain of 6. So it'll be second down. Let's call it 9. Cameron Young making the tackle from its nose spot. Randy Charlton not available on the defensive front today for Mississippi State. Jaden Crumedy not available. Jack Harris not available. That means that Pickering, usually at the nose, will move out to tackle. Young will line up in the middle of that defense. They'll keep it on the ground. Again, Thompson breaks a tackle, still on his feet. To midfield and a lot more. Slips down at the 45 and still on his feet. What a run by Roderick Thompson, the junior out of Irving, Texas. A gain of 32, and the Red Raiders to the line in a hurry. Inside handoff again to Thompson. He'll pick up 5. Boy, Texas Tech going at a quick tempo, trying to go for it all here, and that'll be incomplete into the end zone. Give us a chance just to let you know that most of those 10 players that we talked about unavailable today are on the defensive side. Now, certainly Martin Emerson has been out for a little bit, but today we get word that Dean in the back end, Dylan Lawrence, Jalen Green, Sean Preston. We told you about the guys up front. The linebacking core, though, stays intact. And those guys, Jet Johnson, Nathaniel Watson, and Tyrus Wheat, have been their bell cows in terms of tackle machines this year. Taj Brooks now in at running back on 3rd down. On the ground. That'll be a Texas Tech first down. Gain of 8.
David, one of the things you have a little bit of, obviously they're going fast, but they've run outside zone, they've run split zone, and they're back on the ball now.
Here goes Brook around the edge. He breaks the tackle, falls close to the line to gain inside the 20.
When you see a lot of missed tackles so far here early in this game by Mississippi State, and that's another thing that falls off when you're not playing a lot.
Brooks through the left side to the 5. Touchdown, Red Raiders. 19 yards. Well, Brooks and Thompson carried the load on the ground for that drive. And Sonny Cumbie happy with that opening drive. Went fast pace. Point after is up and good by Garibay, and it's a 7-0 Texas Tech lead. That didn't take long. 2 minutes and 20 seconds. 7 plays and 75 yards.
It was questioned whether or not Texas Tech would be able to find some emotion to come out and play this game. I think we saw in that first series that they definitely have the emotion. Mississippi State helped them a little bit with being able to miss multiple missed tackles there on those running backs, but definitely a nice opening drive by Texas Tech.
Sonny Cumbie, who has been working double duty as the Louisiana Tech head coach and the interim head coach for this bowl game for Texas Tech. Let's see how Texas Tech got here with our season in review, brought to you by Easy Post. They finished up 6-6, 3-6 in the Big 12, but it looked like this was a season that had some potential. Then they got hammered by Kansas State. Matt Wells was let go right before Halloween. They gave the job to interim coach Sonny Cumbie. Then on November 8th, they hired Joey McGuire, who actually retained Sonny Cumbie as their offensive coordinator, but shortly after he accepted that job, Louisiana Tech came a-calling. A lot going on over in Lubbock. One hop kick taken by Griffin. Griffin averaging about 35 yards per kick return. He has been a dynamic force, but stopped there by Texas Tech. So that ball will be spotted at the 25-yard line. And our first look at Will Rogers and this Mississippi State offense.
And I think when we look at this offense, it's a lot of it, you talk about the short, quick passing game. That's going to be critical, but I think it's not having your 2 starting tackles. That's where the concern comes in for this Mississippi State offense.
Dylan Johnson will start to the right in the backfield of Rogers. Through the hands of his intended target, Makai Polk. And that was close to being picked off.
One where, I don't know if Will Rogers has to take a little bit off or Polk just has to catch it regardless anyway, though, as well.
On the ground, Johnson. He'll get it out to the 34.5-yard line. He'll be just a bit short of the line to gain, so give him 9. Johnson on the year averaging 5.3 yards per carry. Marks, the other running back, averaging just a tick under 4 per carry. They'll go handoff again to Johnson. Needed across the 35, and he did so out to the 37-yard line. So the Bulldogs get their first down. Merriweather comes up to make the play.
One of the things you see with Texas Tech as well is the first run, there was only 5 guys in the box. The second one, they did put an extra guy in the box. Mississippi State still able to run the football to be able to pick up that first down, and we'll see if they have the patience to be able to run the football, that being Mississippi State. I think that they have an advantage offensively. Normally it's through the air.
Ground again. Johnson to the 45-yard line and stop there. Eric Monroe, the transfer from LSU, making the tackle, but not before Johnson picks up 7.
We wondered, would there be commitment to running the football, and that's 3 times we've seen this Mississippi State offense run the football with success.
I mean, Mississippi State's averaging just 63 yards a game on the ground. Pressure comes off the edge. Bulldogs pick it up, coming near side. Catch is made there by Austin Williams. And for Austin Williams, that'll be his 48th catch of the year, having a career season.
Just runs an out route. Nice job by Will Rogers. There's a little pressure in his face, but nice job of Will Rogers being able to get the football out and getting it to Austin Williams for that catch, picking up another first down.
Johnson tripped up on the back end. Merriweather making another play from his linebacker position. That'll be a loss of 4.
Merriweather finally able to get some penetration against that Mississippi State offensive line. The previous 3 runs, you talked about the success that they had running the football, and that's the first negative play that they've had running the football.
Merriweather now 5.5 tackles behind the line. 49 tackles on the year. Jernigan and Marks in the backfield. Williams goes in motion. And a receiver slipped around the 40-yard line on 2nd down and long. That'll be incomplete, so now it'll be 3rd down. Trying to hit Griffin with that one, but he just slipped coming out of his cut.
And as you can see it, Griffin, he just looked like he tried to plant off of his inside foot, and it just gave on him. And that's why they have that incomplete. Now, if you're Texas Tech, I don't know if they're going to try to bring some pressure here, see if they can hurry up and get the ball out of Will Rogers' hand, or if they're going to try to play coverage.
Will Rogers completing 75% of his passes this year. That is tops in college football. Plenty of time to throw. Over the middle. Incomplete. Was that picked off? Incomplete. Will be 4th down. Adrian Fry back there in coverage.
Fry was in coverage, and I think looked like Griffin slipped again. Definitely looked like Griffin slipped again. Plenty of time in the pocket, and it did hit the ground. Ball did hit the ground.
Well, it rained all day today till a couple hours before kickoff tonight here in Memphis. But on this turf, it has been a slippery slope so far for the Bulldog wide receivers. This punt will hit inside the 10, and it'll be downed. We'll spot it at the 8-yard line. So Texas Tech with a great opening drive, lead it by a touchdown here at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Back in a moment. Fans, join us virtually for the College Football Playoff All Access Experience, featuring exclusive content, games, and daily prize drops. Register today at ESPN.com/CFP All Access. Getting closer and closer to the college football playoffs. First play from scrimmage for Texas Tech on their 2nd drive of the game will pick up a yard. I think there might have been a little discussion on that Bulldog sideline after that opening drive by Texas Tech.
We've got to do a better job of tackling, no doubt about it. That Mississippi State secondary for sure.
Mississippi State giving up 25 points a game. Texas Tech's offense scoring 30 a game. There's the big quarterback, Donovan Smith. Rushed it this year 51 times for 125 yards and a couple of touchdowns. He'll pick up 11.
And that's a pure, they go to empty, and that's a pure quarterback draw by Smith, and takes a big shot there at the end, but picks up the 1st down.
Started the last 3 games for Texas Tech, went 1-2 in those games. Coaches say they love his potential. Big arm on a big body. Another big run for the Red Raiders as Thompson will pick up 11 and move the chains again. Thompson on the year, 93 carries, 420 yards, but 9 touchdowns. He'll get a couple of yards on that carry. Texas Tech's offense, they averaged 150 yards a game on the ground of their 408 total yards.
Dave, you talked about it earlier, Mississippi State not having a couple of their regular guys at defensive end, being challenged here by that offensive line of Texas Tech so far.
Charlton, Crumedy, Odom, and Harris. That's 4 of your defensive ends not available for Mississippi State. Donovan Smith showing you some of that big arm, and that'll be incomplete. There are no flags. Geiger was the intended target. Looked like he and Ellington kind of got tangled up. Sonny Cumbie can't believe there was not a flag.
a shot play here by this Texas Tech offense, and Donovan Smith, he throws it up, and Geiger's the intended receiver. Ellington just gets him with a little bump there, but he did get his head around to locate the football, and the officials felt like it was not interference.
Third down and 8. Bulldogs bringing 3. Pocket holds up. Smith finds his target. That'll be caught at the 45-yard line. Miles Price with the reception, a gain of 12. And another first down.
Really nice job of Donovan Smith, just taking his eyes just a little bit to the swing route of the back, and that pulls that linebacker out of the hook zone to be able to get the football up to the receiver.
And another big run. That'll go for 11. How about Texas Tech starting this game averaging 11 yards a carry on the ground?
And you're talking about a very, very stingy run defense, but, we talked about a couple guys not being available, moving some bodies around, and right now, Texas Tech is playing with great tempo, keeping Mississippi State off balance.
How about 12 runs to 3 passes for the Red Raiders? Another big hole off the right side. Taj Brooks with a first down inside the 35, down to the 32. That's a 13-yard gain.
And they'll go fast again to line up on the football. Mississippi State has a guy that goes down, being banged up a little bit, and it's the tempo right now of Texas Tech.
That is Russell down on the ground. The redshirt sophomore out of Jackson, Mississippi. Texas Tech going fast. And a Bulldog going down. Timeout on the field.
The AutoZone Liberty Bowl is brought to you by AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone. And Pennzoil synthetic motor oils are made from natural gas. The proof is in the Pennzoil.
Good times down on Beale Street here in Memphis. Texas Tech up 7-0 on that man's defense. Zach Arnett. Snap. Smith throws. Boy, look, how about his arm? And the catch made right on the far sideline by Price. And that'll be down to the 20-yard line, so another first down for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, that's a flea flicker, Dave, and you talked about his arm. That's almost like just a back shoulder throw, because he did not have the throw as far as on the go route when they brought Price in motion, and so you see the arm strength by Donovan Smith.
First down and 10 from the 20-yard line. Couple of tight ends. There goes Brooks behind his offensive line down inside the 15. He'll pick up 6 yards. This Texas Tech offense, now most rushing yards they've had since 2017. They have been really good in the red zone in terms of running for touchdowns. 27 of their touchdowns in the red zone have been via the ground.
And one thing Coach Comedy talked about was basically being able to play an 11 and 12 personnel, and you talk about having one tight end, at times 2 tight end. That's a difference maker for this offense so far, because it gives them the ability to be able to run the football.
So Roderick Thompson in at running back. Out of that pistol formation. Thompson will take it off the left side. Again, sees a seam, kicked it to the outside. A flag will come out, though, around the 12-yard line.
I think they're going to get him for holding there, right there on the edge.
Holding, offense number 70, 10-yard penalty, second down.
Weston Wright, the left guard. As Texas Tech was trying to run that outside zone play. He has him hooked, but just that little pull there at the end.
Xavier White checks into the game. Smith will keep it, though. Cuts it back. He slips down around the 15-yard line. He'll pick up 7.5, maybe 8.
Dave, you have to be impressed with how they use the quarterback as far as running. We've seen them be able to use quarterback draw that time, another design quarterback keep play, just to put them in third and manageable situation.
Boy, another lengthy drive. The first one was 75 yards. Their opening possession of the game resulted in a touchdown. 3rd down and 5 coming up. Not going to get it. It's going to be 4th down. Banks comes up to hit White. Gain of only 2.
Coach Comedy decides to kick the field goal. I thought by deciding to run the football, maybe putting themselves in a 4th and short situation where they felt like that they could get, or at least go for it on 4th down, but opting to kick the field goal. That's a big win for this Mississippi State defense.
So Garibay, who has been phenomenal this year, had made 13 straight. His only miss was from 53 as time expired in their last game against Baylor. 13 of 14 on the year. This from 31. And the snap is good, kick is good, and more points on the board for the Red Raiders. 3:03 to go, opening quarter from the AutoZone Liberty Bowl in Memphis, and Texas Tech leads it by 10. Let's take a look at today's performance update prepared by TaxAct. And certainly the run game has been the storyline for Texas Tech here in the first quarter. This is a team under Coach Cumbie that actually ran more than they passed it this year, and you can see why. These guys are having some great success on the ground.
Well, they use a lot of different backs. Basically, they use 3 different backs, and so far they've had a lot of success running the football. Mississippi State, like I said, has not helped itself with missing a ton of tackles in that secondary and at the second level.
That'll bounce into the end zone for a touchback. Well, coming up next, we'll cap off our bowl quadruple header with West Virginia and Minnesota in the Guaranteed Rate Bowl. You can always watch it on the ESPN app from anywhere. Tell you what, it's kind of a guessing game whether or not we're going to get to kick off with some of these games. I know UCLA had to back out of their bowl game 4 hours before kickoff today. Feel good that we got it underway.
We're here.
Yes. Although that doesn't mean much. There were some guys in Hawaii that were there, and there was no game. And anyway, Mississippi State trying to put up some points. Little slip screen underneath. That one goes to Griffin. Tulu out to the 35-yard line. That'll be close to the first down. Let's see if they will give him the first down.
A better start for this drive. The previous drive, it started with Polk dropping a pass, but this one they pick up a first down right away.
Rodgers bobbled in the air and finally caught right in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl logo at midfield. That one goes to Polk. Let's go down to Andre.
Yeah, guys, I saw a lot of leadership from quarterback Will Rogers while they were on the sidelines. A ton of encouragement, high-fiving everybody. I did see him specifically say, hey, the corner leverage is money, so look for him to hit that. Also, wide receiver LaDetrick Griffin, he did change his cleats. They didn't look squeaky clean. I can't confirm if they're brand new, but he did change his cleats, hopefully to keep his footing on the field.
Thanks, Trey. And that was Makai Polk. Can't afford to lose him. How about 98 catches this year? Now give him 99.
He came down holding that ankle. You talked about it, Dave, kind of catching that ball, double catching it. I don't know if his foot gave out underneath him a little bit, but it was the ankle. He was able to get up, and hopefully he's able to come back into the game as well.
He had 10 catches for 98 yards in the Egg Bowl against Ole Miss. Go to the wide side of the field. Pass is caught over there. That'll be inside the 40. They'll spot it about the 39-yard line. Give him 9. ducking, able to make that reception, and now the Bulldogs kind of in their comfort zone. Ran it on their first drive more than maybe we anticipated, but now they're letting Will Rogers do his thing.
Let him go out there and operate and just distribute the football.
Hand off to the right side by Marks. Will Rogers threw the ball 630 times this year. And the fact that he completed 75% of those is staggering.
Well, you're icing your arm down a lot after being able to throw the football that much. But, I mean, it's the percentage. It's understanding and knowing where to go with the football is what's so impressive as well.
36 touchdowns for Rogers this year as that one is caught, and they'll spot that one down after a gain. Actually, they'll spot it at the same line of scrimmage. Jaden Wally coming up. Fields making a play.
Yeah, Fields does a nice job of just being able to beat that block. Well, you've got to give better effort. Thompson there, he's got to give better effort on that screen, quick screen, and Fields is just going to be able to make that open field tackle all day if you're not going to touch him.
Actually lost a yard. Second down and 11. Three receivers to the near side. Rogers looking down the middle, and that one is incomplete. A little confusion between he and his intended receiver. I think that was Thomas was the intended target, and Rogers trying to explain to him he should have done this. Instead, he did that.
Yeah, really slowing down. They run a lot of the mesh concept, and so basically you have two underneath, and then the third level is really where he was trying to go with that football. And so to be able to read the zone or those safeties, that's where Will Rogers and Thompson has to be on the same page.
Four-man rush. Rogers sliding out of the pocket, throws on the run. What a great catch there by Marks. 80 catches this year by your running back.
And Marks just looks like a regular receiver here, just being able to give his numbers to his quarterback, and you can see the nice tight cut. The only thing I don't like is he drifted up the field after he ran that option route, but he was able to give his numbers to the quarterback.
That is the end of the first quarter. It belonged to Texas Tech. They put up 10 points on the board. But Mississippi State driving. Back in a moment.
Kevin Connors here with this breaking news and sad news from the world of football. Hall of Famer John Madden died today at the age of 85. Madden won a Super Bowl as head coach of the Raiders, later became arguably the greatest TV analyst in the history of sports, and his name lives on in the EA Sports NFL video game that bears his name. John Madden dead at the age of 85. Dave?
Wow, Kevin, you just, you think guys like that will be around forever. And, boy, what a tough loss for those of us in the sports community. What an icon. Will Rogers moving up to the ladder in SEC passing yards. So far today, Will Rogers is 6 of 11, 65 yards. But he has passed 4,500 yards through the air this season, which happens to be number 2 in conference history. He's chasing the great Joe Burrow just a couple of years ago, who set the standard. Underneath route. Pass caught there by Makai Polk. They'll spot him down around the 17, give him a 3-yard pickup. Colin Schooler making the tackle. And Schooler now closing in on 100 tackles this season. He has 475 career tackles.
Schooler is a tight tackling machine, and it's good to see Polk be able to come back into the game running that over route from his wide receiver position.
Jernigan and Marks in the backfield, but they'll throw it here. Going to the end zone. Had some man coverage, and it works perfectly. Touchdown Bulldogs. 17-yard touchdown pass. The freshman Thomas comes up with the big catch.
Dave, when you go back and you look at this play, I don't know if you can throw it any better. This is back shoulder throw. We'll take a look at it. Here's Will Rogers. This is covered. This is back shoulder throw, and you can tell that he and his receiver are on the same page, and Thomas just goes up, and it's right there, right at the 1 yard line. He's able to catch this football and back into the end zone for the touchdown.
Point after is up and good. 10 plays, 75 yards for the Bulldogs. Just a tick under 4 minutes, and this is how they got it into the end zone. The 36th touchdown pass of the season for Will Rogers.
Whoa, how come everything is moving slow-mo? Where we going after this, I really don't know. So for now, we in a party screen.
And welcome back to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl as part of Capital One Bowl Mania in Memphis, Tennessee, where the Bulldogs making their 12th straight bowl appearance. Meanwhile, Texas Tech's last bowl was back in 2015. Excuse me, 2017. Their last winning season was in 2015. They are trying to post a victory here and finish the year at 7-6. Their last bowl win was 2013. This kickoff will sail into the end zone. Bowl Mania rolls on with 3 more games tomorrow on ESPN and the app starting at 2:15 Eastern. At Yankee Stadium, Maryland takes on Virginia Tech in the New Era Pinstripe Bowl, followed by number 19 Clemson and Iowa State in the Cheez-It Bowl. Then number 14 Oregon and number 16 Oklahoma in the Valero Alamo Bowl. Settle in, folks. That is a lot of football. Texas Tech fans, they are passionate folks for sure. Had a chance to do the regional with Texas Tech in baseball last year. Man, what a great crowd they brought every single day. Brought a good crowd here to Memphis. Here is Geiger. He'll get it out to the 27, 28-yard line. Gain of 4 on the play. I haven't really mentioned it yet, but certainly one of the big losses for Texas Tech coming into this game was Eric Uzakama. He had 48 catches for 700 yards and 4 touchdowns. Their best receiver decided to get himself ready for the prospects of the NFL draft. Nowhere to run for Taj Brooks. That'll be a loss of 3. As with every bowl game, there's always going to be a few that will opt out. You see for Mississippi State, Emerson and Cross. Cross certainly expected to be one of the first tackles taken in the draft. He had an unbelievable season. Third down. Pressure comes and down goes Donovan Smith. Getting to the quarterback has been an issue for the Bulldogs all year. Not on that possession, a loss of 7.
Well, and you see the adjustments that they were made. That's zero blitz, and so that's one with Donovan. He's got to understand and know that I have to be able to get rid of the football. And so they're basically playing across. Nathaniel Watson is the guy that ends up making that sack. But you, as a young quarterback, you've got to understand and know that that whole series, they came at you with a little more pressure, and that time they come up with the big sack.
Austin McNamara with a punt. This guy has a booming leg. He averages 48 yards per punt. Jaden Wally back there on the return. He'll get it out over the 25 to the 26. A 59-yard kick. Just another day for McNamara. 10-7, Red Raiders.
The AutoZone Liberty Bowl is brought to you by AutoZone, home of Duralast batteries. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
I can't get enough of this stuff. when they honor some of our veterans, and this is Herschel Woody Williams, the last surviving Medal of Honor winner from World War II. He's 98 years old. He was in the Liberty Bowl parade yesterday as the Grand Marshal as it traveled down Beale Street. Love that stuff. Crowd gave him an unbelievable ovation, and rightly so. Here's Will Rogers trying to scamper around, and he will get it back to the line of scrimmage.
Very few times you've seen him be able to miss a guy as far as an option or a target. His offensive line has given him some pretty good time. That time Texas Tech only rushing 3 guys. Will decides just to tuck it and live to see the next down.
They'll hand it off. Dylan Johnson. They'll pick up 7, maybe 8 out near the 34-yard line. Deuce, as a player, you get a team like Mississippi State, right? They're not going fast all the time. They'll line up fast, though, very quickly and stand there. How much of an effect does that have, not just on your offensive line, but the defensive side as well, when you just kind of stand there for a little bit?
Well, I don't think it affects it anymore. I think that they're really looking at the coverage and seeing what that defensive front is to make sure that they can get in the right play, make sure that, hey, look, this is the play that we feel like we can have some success against. Offensively and defensively, I don't think it delays anything.
Nothing happening there as Johnson met right away.
Mississippi State has an offensive lineman that's down.
Wilson gets credit for that tackle, but boy, there's not a lot of depth on that offensive line for Mississippi State today. Their 2 starting tackles during the regular season not here. Charles Cross not here. Scott Lashley not available. So they are thin up front, and that is their right guard, Johnson, back in a moment. Back at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, Mississippi State loses Quatravius Johnson, their right guard, right here, Deuce.
And he gets rolled up on right here, Dave, and it's really his back that kind of gets him first. And it's unfortunate because that offensive line had been playing really, really well so far.
They're going to go for it here on 4th down and 1.5 yards. And did they get Texas Tech to jump? Flags come out. This may be.
They're going to get him false start. They're going to say it's false start against that Mississippi State offense.
Snap infraction against the center.
They're going to get the center for rocking the football. They're going to get him for rocking the football. And so you had the nose tackle that's right up on him, and the defensive end, Hutchinson, is the guy that's directly over him. And they're going to get the center for rocking the football, snap infraction. And Mississippi State, I don't know if they had really true intentions of going for it, but they were going to go at least a hard count.
If that ball moved, it barely moved.
Dave, after looking at it again, I'm talking about maybe 1 inch, if at all.
Yeah. Red Raiders will take it, though. Not a good punt at all. Fry back there to return it. Takes a couple of bounces, and he just lets it go. He just lost about 15 yards because he didn't come up and make a play. He had time to do it.
And once it hit the first time, he's got to be able to come up. He's got to be able to come up and get that football once after he sees it hits. Well, after looking at it again, I don't think it was the movement of the football. I think it was the movement of the center is what got him that time after looking at it again, because the football didn't move. I think once you heard Rogers kind of bark or yell a signal, it was just a little movement by the center is where the infraction happened.
So 9:49 to go in the second quarter. First down and 10 for the Red Raiders. They scored on their opening possession of the game. They went 75 yards and did it by way of the ground game. Big gaping holes in that offensive line allowed them to run the football. Boy, not much happening there for Thompson as Emmanuel Forbes comes up to make a play, maybe a yard for Texas Tech.
Really nice open field tackle there by Emmanuel Forbes. We talked about Mississippi State missing some tackles earlier, particularly in the secondary. Emmanuel Forbes, he doesn't miss that one.
Smith, 2 out of 4. Only thrown the ball 4 times today. This looks like number 5 coming up. Pocket breaks down. Unloads it near side. Bradley making a catch. And he will scoot past the 25 out near the 30, and that'll be good enough for a first down, a gain of 11.
Here in Mississippi State, only rushing 3 guys. So Smith, he feels a little bit of pressure, but he's able to climb up in the pocket. The thing that you're impressive about, particularly with a young player, redshirt freshman, is he keeps his eyes down the field. And right before he decides, it looked like he was going to take off and run, he was able to dump the football off to pick up the first down.
Handoff goes to White. We'll pick up 3. Let's go downstairs to Andrea.
Guys, that last throw by quarterback Donovan Smith was exactly what he told me he worked on in the practices leading up to the bowl game, being calm in the pocket. He said he wants to be more calm, considers himself a dual threat quarterback, knows he has the ability to extend plays, but said it should always be pass first. He showed that on that last throw.
Well, his first career start came against Iowa State. All he did was go 25 of 32 for a career high 322, 3 touchdowns in that game, and what was a thrilling win for Texas Tech over the Cyclones. Pressure comes, Smith is hit, but he got it away just in time and out to the 38-yard line. That'll be a 5-yard pickup there as Kalen Geiger makes another catch. Pressure came from Page, got the hit on Donovan Smith.
Nice job of Donovan Smith understanding and realizing earlier when it was 0 blitz, he held the ball and took the sack. That time, understanding and knowing there's pressure off the edge, they just run a little slant route, able to make that completion and put themselves in a 3rd and short situation. Mississippi State has been walking those safeties down, and they're bringing guys off of the edge. Had a little success earlier. Let's see if they can make a play here.
3rd down and 2. Brooks in the game with a couple of tight ends. They'll hand it to Brooks. He'll have the first down and then some. Out over the 43. That'll be a gain of 4 and another fresh set of downs for the Red Raiders as the clock moves under 7 minutes.
Red Raiders going fast and getting up on the ball line of scrimmage now as well. Mississippi State has to burn a timeout. They've got too many guys on the field. Mississippi State had to call a timeout.
There's no foul. Timeout. Mississippi State. First of this half.
Tempo has been somewhat of an issue for the Bulldogs to handle here tonight.
This will be a 30-second timeout.
Well, we saw earlier when Texas Tech was having a lot of success, it was because of those tempo plays, and it looked like Mississippi State was really gassed or trying to get back in the football shape in a sense after you take all of that time off. When you talk about bowl preparation and those couple earlier drives, it looked like it affected them.
Well, here's a look at the Navy Federal Credit Union ROTC All-American Scholarship Finalists. Launched in 2018 to honor the best and brightest ROTC seniors from across the country. The award spans the entire country and all branches of the ROTC, celebrating students who embody leadership, military excellence, scholarship, and community service. Congratulations to those on the Navy Federal Credit Union ROTC All-American Scholarship list. Well, after that timeout, it's first down and 10, Texas Tech. Ball sits at the 43. They'll play fake it here. Donovan Smith steps up in the pocket, throws it high. It might have been deflected. I think Jet Johnson might have gotten his hands on it.
Yeah, he did. Jet Johnson did a good job of being able to drop in that hook zone and be able to get his hand on that pass of Donovan Smith. And you can see him just be able to read play action and just drop a little bit. He's reading the quarterback eyes, and he's able to get his hands right on that football. Looked like it was intended for Miles Price.
Johnson's coming off a career-high 11 stops in the Egg Bowl. Led the team this year with 84 stops. On second down, they'll run left side. And Brooks bounces off a couple of maroon jerseys for no gain.
Johnson coming off of the edge again, and we talked about Mississippi State showing different looks, whether it's based out of that 3-down look. Tyrus Wheat, he walks up and he's a kind of a rush defensive end guy, but Jet Johnson that time on the edge, able to run that play down from behind.
Zach Arnett, the defensive coordinator. This defense definitely played better than some maybe on the outside expected this year. Played really well against the run, although Texas Tech has shown they've been able to run the ball here tonight. They will throw it on 3rd down and 10. Smith hit as he throws high, and it's caught. First down at the Mississippi State 40. Trey Cleveland going up high, picks up 18 yards.
Dave, you have to be impressed with this young kid. He gets hit, and that ball, you talked about it being high, but he is on the far hash, and that's going all the way across, almost to the numbers. You can see him get hit right there as he's releasing that football to be able to make the completion. He's kind of watching it at the end to make sure that the completion is made, but nice job of throwing the football there by Donovan Smith.
Pressure comes. Smith flushed out of the pocket, trying to get the corner. Hit as he throws.
Mississippi State may have this football. I don't see an incomplete. There's the first incomplete sign. But Mississippi State recovered the football right there on the sideline.
Yeah, our referee late came in and said incomplete pass. That was the first sign of an incomplete pass.
And he's trying to throw the football, but I don't know if he had control of it.
The leg on the field was a fumble. And recovered inbounds by Mississippi State. First down.
Originally, our referee was saying that it was an incomplete pass, but the officials on the sideline, all of those guys continued to play, and they, basically said, hey, look, that was a fumble, and you can see as Donovan Smith gets ready to try to release this football, I don't know if he completely is able to throw it.
Fred Peters comes up to put the hit on Donovan Smith, and Russell hustles over there to grab the football.
And they're going to take a look at this play via review, and he's going for it, but I don't know if he has control of the football. Fred Peters coming from that dog position.
And the other thing to keep an eye on was the fumble recovered inbounds.
Yeah, I think he did recover it inbounds. I think he did recover at least the football inbounds. It's right there on the sideline, and you can see he's going forward, but I don't know if you call that control. That Donovan Smith had complete control throwing that football. It's the helmet that stops the arm from going forward.
Boy, Peters, the senior, transferred in from junior college a couple of years back. And again, the ruling on the field is fumble. So you got to have, obviously, definitive video to overturn this. And I don't know. Boy, that is a tricky call. To me,
the arm is going forward. Does he have control? Is it an empty hand? I mean, you can see the arm is going forward. Donovan Smith is trying to get rid of the football here. Question is, does he have control?
Right. Was he losing the football? Well, we have Matt Austin alongside for our rules discussion. And Matt, what do you make of this?
Well, thanks, Dave. I agree with everything you said. When you look at the isolation view of the quarterback, it does look like his hand brings the ball forward. His arm does not have to come forward. It's the hand. If he had control, as Deuce said, and the hand comes forward, it's a pass, hit the ground. In my opinion, this is an incomplete pass.
Yeah, I tend to lean with Matt on that.
Well, he's the expert. I mean,
I'm no fool.
Yeah, he is the expert, and the officials, they're basically talking about it, and it looks like it is going to be Texas Tech.
After further review, it's an incomplete third pass.
There's going to be Texas Tech football.
Boy, that was really close.
Really close, and right now where they have the football spotted, it has to be back up. I mean, but Fred Peters, you can see the closing speed here, and that is very close. That Mississippi State defense looks totally different from those first couple of drives to what they have now. Showing some different looks, being able to bring guys off of the edge, being able to get your safeties involved like there. Fred Peters playing that dog position.
He's coming off a career-high 14 tackles against Ole Miss. So it turns into a 2nd down and 10 situation now for Texas Tech. Like the Bulldogs going to bring some heat here. Red Raiders run right at it. And that was almost broken by Thompson. Instead, he stumbles forward inside the 35 down to the 33, picks up 6, but that had a chance for a big hitter.
Definitely an opportunity for a big hitter, and you're talking about Fred Peters being the guy that makes that saving tackle. You talked about the pressure coming off of the edge. Mississippi State has kind of dialed it up a little bit with their safeties getting more involved, those linebackers coming off the edge, and Texas Tech able to hit it right there inside, and Peters makes the touchdown saving tackle.
Brooks has 68 yards on the ground. Thompson has 66 on the ground. Zach Arnett trying to find some answers for this Tech run game. 3rd down and 4. Smith to throw it here, lofts it up toward the corner of the end zone, and that one will be incomplete. There are no flags. Trying to hit Cleveland. And now it's 4th down, and it looks like Sonny Cumbie going to keep the offense out there.
When you see Mississippi State bring the pressure again, and you can see Jet Johnson coming off the edge as well as Wheat coming off the edge, and it's just a go route. You love how Richardson, he just squeezes the receiver all the way to the sideline. That's Trey Cleveland.
4th down and 4. The 29th 4th down attempt of the year for Texas Tech. Quick slant passes caught, but not good enough. Geiger made the catch, hit by Forbes immediately, and the Bulldogs get the stop they were looking for.
May not be via turnover, but comes up via 4th down. Nice tackle by Emmanuel Forbes. We saw him have an open field tackle earlier that time. He's able to make the tackle on the catch. The Bulldogs come up with a big turnover of downs.
Kevin Connors in studio. Coming up on the Smile Direct Club halftime report. We'll have much more on the passing of Pro Football Hall of Famer John Madden, who died this morning at the age of 85. We'll look back on his life and legacy in the world of football, as well as sports, television, and gaming. Dave and Deuce, it's coming up when you join us at the half.
Thank you, Kevin. That's 4:20 off our game clock. Texas Tech leading Mississippi State 10-7. Bulldogs with the football, 1st down and 10 from the 31-yard line. Will Rogers all day to throw, but nowhere to throw it. He'll try to run out of some trouble and slide down. He might lose a yard on that. Will Rogers just 8 of 13 for 85 yards. Boy, Sonny Cumbie having a little discussion with his quarterback after that 4th down play, Deuce.
Yeah, right there, and you can read his lips. He basically tells Donovan Smith, we didn't call that. Stay with the call play. I think Donovan kind of changed it. He was probably expecting 0 blitz, and it was a blitz, but they were able to pick it up. But that route was not going to be obviously long enough or far enough to pick up the 1st down.
And the Bulldogs trying to take advantage of it here. Will Rogers slings it coming near side, and that one is incomplete. He was trying to hit Jaden Walley, and right as it hit him, he got hit by the defensive back, Taylor Demerson, and it'll be 3rd down and 11 coming up.
It's really a nice job of Demerson being able to close on that corner route, and Wally's trying to get up underneath it, but just 2 guys making a play on the football. Nicely thrown pass by Will Rogers. The defense does win sometime, though, Dave. I'm an offensive guy, but the defense they win sometime.
Red Raiders trying to win here on 3rd down and 11.
Mississippi State called timeout. It was going to be a delay of game.
30-second timeout. Mississippi State. That is the 2nd of this half.
Oh, Mike Leach in his 2nd season now with Mississippi State. Boy, you think about what this season could have been, right? Take out the Alabama game, which was pretty much what some might have thought, 49-9 at the time. Other than that, their other 4 losses were by 18 points, and one of those losses happened here, should have never happened.
Correct.
There was a horrible call in a game against Memphis that cost them that game against the Tigers. This could have been a 9-10 win team. A play here or there goes their way.
Well, you talk about having a solid kicking game up in Arkansas.
Right.
You know, and we know what happens kind of later on with the kicking situation, kind of almost an open kicking contest. But, I mean, that's another game that could have went their way. And then even the game against Ole Miss, I mean, how much does that game change if they're able to score right there before the half? And so this is a young team. This is a young team when you look at it, some of the productions that they've had, and could have been a truly different season. They able to make another play or two in certain games.
Rogers trying to make a play here, and that one's almost picked off. What has Texas Tech done today to this Mississippi State pass game? They came in averaging 385 yards through the air.
Well, right here, it's pressure. Texas Tech is able to run a little stunt, and that's really, I don't think that his receiver, it was Williams that he was trying to hit. They're not on the same page, but it was a stunt. It was going to be pressure up the middle, and even before it got there, Rogers kind of threw the football, and he and his receiver not on the same page.
That punt is fielded by Fry, and he gets walloped around the 35-yard line. All right, well, Thursday, guess what? More bowl games coming your way right here on ESPN and the app. First at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, North Carolina squares off against South Carolina in the Duke's Mayo Bowl. Then Tennessee takes on Purdue in the Trans-Perfect Music City Bowl. And then at 10:30, Wisconsin battles Arizona State in the SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl. It is another great day of bowl games, all leading up to the college football playoffs. First down and 10, Texas Tech. 3:21 to play here in the second quarter. Will come near side with it, and a missed tackle by the Bulldogs allows Miles Price to pick up the first down. They will spot him near midfield at the 49-yard line. That's a gain of 13.
We saw Texas Tech run this play earlier. Jet Johnson is the guy off the edge, but it's Duncan that has to be able to make that tackle. And once he does not make that tackle, then Price is able to go and pick up the first down for this Red Raiders offense.
A secondary that is low on personnel. That run there by Brooks will get it into Mississippi State territory. Again, just so you know, there were 10 players we were informed before kickoff that were unavailable today. Many of those big-time contributors, 4 starters. And on the back end, you lose. Martin Emerson had already stepped away, but he was a starter at corner. You lose Preston, who was their dog in the secondary. Jalen Green, Dylan Lawrence, Janari Dean. That's a lot of snaps not available.
Correct, and that's all in the secondary. I mean, you didn't even talk and touch on defensive line or even linebackers not available.
Aaron Odom, Randy Charlton, Jaden Crumedy, Jack Harris. Those bodies not available up front. Closing in on 2:15 to go before halftime.
Yeah, one of the things that Coach Arnett has done since we talked about those adjustments was being able to bring guys off of the edge, and I don't know how much that has affected the offensive assignment for Texas Tech up front, but they're starting to get more pressure than they were earlier in the game.
Mississippi State has won the time of possession battle this season, but here in this AutoZone Liberty Bowl, it's been Texas Tech that has had the football in their possession most of the night. Trying to keep it in their possession, and they do so. Another tough run between the tackles for Taj Brooks. He'll have it inside the 35 down to the 31-yard line, a 9-yard pickup.
And you just have guys that are bouncing off of Taj Brooks. You got to get low. You've got to get your shoulder pads down. That's at least a 6th missed tackle that Mississippi State has had this first half.
And a flag will come out and a false start against Texas Tech.
Offense, number 15. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And so far, Texas Tech has been content not to really push this ball down the field. Mississippi State gets the ball back first to begin the third quarter. We hadn't seen them really push the football down the field a lot anyway this first half. They've had a lot of success running the football so far.
Sonny Cumbie, the former Texas Tech quarterback, soon to be he is the Louisiana Tech head football coach, working double duties here the last month. Quick throw to the wide side of the field. Bulldogs all over it. That'll be a loss of a couple on the play as Geiger was hit.
DeMonte Russell, he does a nice job flaring from his defensive end position. He's trying to set up just a quick screen. Able to disrupt that.
Second down and 17. Smith. Nowhere to go, and he just throws it away. Tyrus Wheat was shadowing Donovan Smith, and he had nowhere to go with it.
You can see Smith looking down the field, and Mississippi State rushing 5 guys. Thought early that he was going to be able to throw it to his running back out of the backfield, but he does not once that linebacker comes over, and then Wheat is able to finally bring the last amount of pressure that forces Donovan Smith to throw that football away. And I think they want to maybe take a look at this one.
He was off the ground when he threw the ball away, and that play is in the further review.
Yeah, they want to take a look at it to see his knee, see if his knee was on the ground as he tried to throw this football away. Take a shot here, a look at it.
It's out of his hand.
Yeah, it's out of his hand. They just want to be sure. Mississippi State has one more timeout here on this third down. I don't know how aggressive Texas Tech will be here. We've seen Mississippi State already show zero pressure, and they've brought a couple guys, 5 guys, pretty much all of this drive, bringing the guys off of the edge as well.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed.
Hey, well, I got a quick second. Just want to update you Mississippi State basketball fans. They moved up their SEC opener tomorrow against Arkansas. I don't know what time it originally was, but I just got a note it's been moved to 4 o'clock. So you Bulldog fans out there, in case you haven't heard, your SEC opener starts at 4 tomorrow. Trying to do Coach Allen a solid.
League play is here.
It is. Mike Leach worried about right now how he can get the football back. They're running out of time here in the second quarter, only 45 seconds to play. Bulldogs are only 1 timeout. Texas Tech, all 3 of theirs are remaining.
Donovan Smith changing his play.
Over the middle, incomplete. Trying to hit Miles Price with it. Might have been a little too hot to handle.
Donovan Smith, that was probably not one of his better throws. Just playing the sticks or the numbers for Mississippi State, just playing off coverage. Corey Ellington with that coverage. Donovan Smith not able to make that completion happen.
Jonathan Garibay has hit a 62-yarder this year, but a little out of his range from the 40. Did that hit a Bulldog player? Texas Tech believes it did, and they may have the football inside the 10.
Yeah, Williams tried to get it. I mean, I don't see a flag. It may have been, that's where you normally have interference is called, but I don't see a flag. Williams definitely hit the football. Texas Tech recovered it.
Tyreek Matthews came out of there with the football.
Well, now going back and looking at it, I don't know if he actually hit it. His reaction to it, and they are saying that he did. They're giving the football to Texas Tech.
It's hard to tell from
that angle, yeah. But if you go back and look at his reaction to it.
The rolling of the field, the receiver on the defense touched the ball. It was recovered by the kicking team. First down.
Austin Williams is who they put back there to be the sure-handed guy to make the sure-handed play there. And it was almost like it was interference by Texas Tech. And that ball just starts pulling away. I guess the way that ball bounces forward is the only way that you can truly see it. But you can look at Williams' reaction to go and try to cover it. Tells you that he felt like that he did touch that football. And now Texas Tech will get an opportunity maybe here.
What a break.
Yeah, to put some points on the board at the end.
These are game-changing type breaks. They'll spot it at the 14-yard line. Low snap, Smith scoops it up. Comes near side, and boy, you hear quarterbacks all the time when there's low snaps or high snaps and you have to take your eyes off the field.
Well, and he's late with that football. So that, and being late on an out route that's based off of timing, Forbes would have eaten that up. I mean, because he was all over that route just because the snap was low and the quarterback had to go down and he takes his eyes off of it, and he's lucky that's not an interception.
27 seconds to go before halftime. Bulldogs bringing some heat off the edge. They'll run away from it. That'll go with Taj Brooks. He'll pick up 6. Timeout Texas Tech.
30-second timeout. Texas Tech. First of this half.
And Texas Tech having all 3 of those timeouts, they're able to use one of them now and just to be able to talk to it, and since it is third down, I want to get my quarterback. If it's me, I want to get him on the move.
Well, we were just talking about some basketball. There's a lot of hoops coming your way in the Big 12 starting very soon. Big 12 Now on ESPN Plus is a must-have for Big 12 fans. A few of our featured men's basketball games on Saturday. 25th ranked Red Raiders hosting Oklahoma State in Lubbock. That's at 4 o'clock Eastern. And then number 6 Kansas hosts TCU from Allen Fieldhouse. That's at 5 Eastern. If you're a Big 12 fan, you got to have this. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com/Big12Now. So they have an opportunity to pick up a first down if they can get it inside the 4-yard line. It'll be third down and 4. Boy, look at the 179 yards on the ground for Texas Tech here tonight. Pressure comes. Smith hit as he throws, lofts it up to the end zone, and there are no flags.
Zero coverage, empty. The look is empty. So I mean, there's no receivers or anything in the backfield. And here, it's going to be the end guy on the line of scrimmage, that Wheat, that makes that big hit. And Texas Tech not able to take advantage of that turnover.
A 26-yard field goal from the far hash. Garibay hit from 31. And this one is through the uprights as well. So Texas Tech will take the gifted 3 points after the muffed punt. It's 13-7 now. Red Raiders out in front of the Bulldogs, and this Mississippi State offense just hasn't really been in sync all night. Give a lot of credit to the Red Raider secondary. This season, along with their contributions to the university's general scholarship funds, for every field goal and extra point made, All-State also donated to the American Red Cross to help with disaster relief efforts. Thank you, All-State. Good look at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Texas Tech and Mississippi State meeting for the first time in 51 years.
Dave, I think when you look at that Texas Tech defense, particularly on the back end, that secondary, you have to feel really good of what they've been able to do so far in this first half. And the question will be, can they continue to do so in the second half?
You know, you got two guys really that are pulling double duty in this game. Keith Patterson going to be the new head coach at Abilene Christian. He's the defensive coordinator right now. And of course, Sonny Cumbie going to be the head coach at Louisiana Tech. Those guys certainly didn't miss a beat in terms of getting their team ready tonight. 13-7 Red Raiders. Will Rogers with 13 seconds to go here in the first half. Hadn't had a Will Rogers type of game. 8 of 15 for a guy that came in completing 75% of his passes this year, but he is now second all-time in SEC history, only behind LSU great Joe Burrow for single-season passing yards. He is at 4,534 yards. What a season. I mean, the numbers are just staggering to look at. He's had 10 straight games with 300-plus passing yards. It's the longest current stretch in the FBS. He's going to have to be electric in the second half if he wants to continue that streak. Jaden Walley making that catch. That'll be a first down. Clock will stop with 6 seconds. And that'll do it for the first half. Half is not over just yet. Half is not over just yet. Everybody hold on.
Before the game clock expired, Mississippi State called timeout with 1 second left in the half. 30-second timeout. Mississippi State. That was their third and final timeout of this half.
As only the Pirate could. He's got it.
Well, Matt Austin, good call by our crew here.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody seems to forget that when it's a first down inbounds in the last minute, the clock's going to run after the ball is set. So Mississippi State was taking way too much time. Coach realized it. He called timeout, and the whistle did blow just before the clock hit 0. So the crew handled it properly.
Kept everybody at their sideline, too. That was the other part.
That's exactly right. But they probably have about 4 players that have went in to the locker room. They're defensive guys, but Mississippi State wanted to get another play off.
Little slip screen. Griffin will make the catch, and now we all will head to our respective locker rooms. Sonny Cumbie wrapping up his interim coaching duties here at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. After the first half, his club leads 13-7. Time to get you to the Smile Direct Club halftime report. Kevin Connors.
Welcome back to Capital One Bowl Mania.
Well, Texas Tech at 6-6, leading Mississippi State, a 7-5 club, 13-7 after one half of play. And really the stats all lean toward Texas Tech. They ran 45 plays in the first half. Mississippi State only 26 plays. And those numbers pretty much tell you the story, especially Mississippi State's offensive numbers are very surprising at this point. 252 yards to 128 as we get set for second half football here at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Dave Neal, Deuce McAllister, Andrea Carter. Griffin inside the 5. And he's hit at the 20-yard line and stopped right there. Well, Deuce, we just showed those stats, and really I think the thing that jumps out to me is this Mississippi State offense throws some 385 yards a game, and Will Rogers has not been able to get in any kind of rhythm. What has Texas Tech done today to create so much havoc?
Well, I think it's not having any help from his receivers. You know, your first play of the game, you go to your normal reliable Polk who drops the football, and then it was a couple slips by Griffin as well as far as on some routes that he was trying to run. So getting going that way will definitely help them.
Well, they'll need a couple first downs to get this offense cranked up. Sonny Cumbie and company certainly happy with the way that first half went for Texas Tech. First play, quick hitter on the outside. That'll pick up a few yards. And I guess guess, rhythm is a word that comes to mind. I just didn't feel like Will Rogers, who normally gets in these like bang, 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 bang type plays, just hadn't had that opportunity.
Missed a couple throws over the middle, and then, like I said, you didn't have a lot of help from your receivers just making plays for you.
2nd down and 7. Over the middle, and that pass is caught for a first down. Out to the 34-yard line goes Jaden Walley. So we'll see if they can get some of that rhythm we're talking about right here on this opening possession of the 3rd quarter.
When you look at those first 2 plays, the first one is a kind of a set up the screen, a quick screen, and then that one is a slant pass that they're able to complete to pick up that first down.
Another completion out near the 40-yard line goes Polk. Polk up over 100 receptions this year.
Nice job here, Polk, just being able to change up his speed, kind of his gait as far as running, and he's just running a stop route or a comeback route right at the numbers, right at the sticks.
Polk with 4 catches now, 102 receptions on the year. Set Mississippi State's record for receptions. 4th in the country in receptions per game, a little over 8. Pressure comes. Rogers just throws it up in the air, and nobody could catch up to it. Wally was over there. Pressure came from Colin Schooler, forcing the pass maybe a little bit earlier than Will Rogers wanted to throw it.
We saw Mississippi State run zero coverage, and that time the Red Raiders run their version of zero coverage, and Mississippi State tried to hit a slot fade to Wally, not able to connect.
Swing it near side. Loose football, incomplete as Dylan Johnson hit the moment he got his hands on it.
That's a really nice job by Tyree Wilson being able to peel off on Dylan Johnson, and so it looks like Texas Tech is bringing pressure up the A gap, and we'll get a chance here to look at it again. And so it's basically a replacement, and so a lot of times you'll see, all right, it's a blitz, and Wilson, he's the guy that has to cover the running back in that situation, and he does so.
Fry back to return this punt. He will field it and back up a few yards. They will spot him down at the 15-yard line. While we got a second, let's go down to the sidelines and visit once again with Andrea Carter.
Thanks, Dave. I caught up with interim head coach for Texas Tech, Sonny Cumming, coming out of halftime, and he told me defense was awesome. They kept everything in front of him. He's very pleased with their defensive effort. On the offensive side, very pleased with how they're running the football, but he said if anything has to improve this half, it's throwing the ball against man coverage. He wants quarterback Donovan Smith to be able to find the right matchup and make accurate throws. That's where he wants to see improvement.
And there's probably a little piece of him wants to be his former head coach.
No doubt about it.
On 1st down and 10, they'll run it. An area Texas Tech had great success in the first half. They rushed it for 192 yards in that first half. The season high allowed by Mississippi State was 202 this year against Arkansas, and that came on 45 attempts on the ground.
Well, Mississippi State has to do a better job of tackling, and they did. They got better once the game went on in the first half. They got to do a better job of tackling overall.
Comes an extra rusher. Smith throws it up, has a man, underthrew his intended target, Miles Price, by a couple of yards.
That's one where you've got to be able to hit Miles Price. You talked about Coach Comedy wanting to hit it, some big plays down the field, and he's got it. Duncan kind of was flat-footed. Price was able to run right by him, and they cannot connect on it. Texas Tech, their version of the slot fade.
3rd down and 8. Lofted in the air, and that one will be incomplete.
It came back to the same play, and it was against zero coverage. And so both teams feel like that, hey, look, you can't hit anything down the field. It was the same play, Dave. And so you see guys coming off of the edge. He knows he is going to get hit. Your back is free releasing, and so instead of one guy being able to come free, you've got two guys coming off the edge that are free, and it's the same play, and they're still not able to connect.
Jaden Walley back at the 35-yard line to return this punt from Austin McNamara. Short kick, fielded there by Walley. Boy, it looked like his knee might have hit the ground for a moment. The football did hit the ground. It's still loose. And Texas Tech thinks they have it.
Got a flag down on the play on the field as well. Texas Tech did recover the fumble, but I don't know if, Dave, I agree. It looked like his knee may have hit the ground right at around the 50-yard line. And if you're Mississippi State, that's definitely what you're hoping for. Two special teams plays here for the Bulldogs, not helping them.
The ruling on the field was the ball was fumbled, recovered by the kicking team. However, there was a foul in the play during the kick, holding during the kick by the receiving team. The previous play is under further review.
There's a lot to look at here on this play, so the penalty will be against Mississippi State if they do retain possession, but we'll see if his knee was down.
Well, they take a look at all this. We will look at it as well, and well, it just looks like his knee's down. We'll wait for the official confirmation on the other side of this break. And welcome back to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl as part of Capital One Bowl Mania. Dave Neal, Deuce McAllister, Andrea Carter with you from the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Had a sequence of events on that last punt, but here it is. And yes, Wally's knee was down at that spot, so the play was dead at that moment, but there was a holding call against Mississippi State at the other end, right near the line of scrimmage. So they do enforce that, but it is Bulldogs football, and they will spot it back at the 37-yard line. And here we go as Rogers lofts one up, looking for Walley, and that was a little bit behind his intended target. Taylor Demerson back there to break that pass up. Second time he's done that tonight.
Demerson does a nice job of breaking on his football, and you see the shoulders shrug, trying to get that safety to come off the middle of the field so they can hit that vertical going up to numbers. Demerson is still able to break it up.
Throw to the outside, pass is caught. That is right at the first down line. So give the Bulldogs a first down as Makai Polk makes that reception.
Second time in the second half we've seen him be able to make a catch right there at the numbers. This time he does pick up the first down, and that's normally the Bulldogs offense that you have become accustomed to seeing, them being able to pick up yardage moving down the field.
Jernigan and Marks.
It's going to be a false start offensive line there
in the backfield, but we'll have to wait a moment with the false start.
False start. Offense, number 66. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Dave, you talked about Marks being in the backfield and Jernigan. It looked like they were going to shift in the offensive line. They were ready to snap the football, and I think Will was changing the play.
Been a frustrating night offensively for that man, Mike Leach, facing the team he coached for a decade and the school's all-time wins leader. Pass caught there by Thomas. He's close to the line to gain down at the 42, and I think that will be enough for the first down.
Drop 8 coverage, and you can see the patience by Thomas as he's running that little inside cut. little dig route, physical, being able to, after the catch, to be able to pick up that first down.
They'll split the back with Rodgers in between them. Put a man in motion. Four-man rush as Rodgers gets hit, lets that one go. It's incomplete. Couple of white jerseys over there. And that one will fall incomplete. They were trying to hit Marks out of the backfield.
You know, Marks was running a wheel route. You get a lot of eye candy with the motion and to be able to get you going one way, but Marks is running that wheel route, kind of a go route out of the backfield. You got the safety that's going to try to break it up coming over the top. Colin is in coverage there and just trying to get a big play.
AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Texas Tech looking for their first winning season since 2015, trying to hold on against the Bulldogs, who are 7-5. Will Rogers. And that one is dropped. I mean, wide open. Jaden Walley bobbled it a couple of times, and then it hit the turf. That's the kind of night it's been for the Bulldogs.
Your offensive line gives you a chance here. You have a stunt and a twist and really nobody open, and Will Rogers gives a little pump fake, and right there at the end, he throws it. It's a perfect pass to Walley, and he tries to come back to it, but that should have been a catch. That should have been a first down, should have been a catch. Now you're in a 3rd and long situation. See if the Raiders try to bring a little pressure here.
Lofts it up in the air, and is that caught? It'll be incomplete. Bulldogs hoping for a flag. Makai Polk over there raising his hands. Williams stride for stride with Makai.
Just a jump ball, and the Red Raiders, they did not bring pressure there, and Will Rogers trying to give his guy Polk an opportunity to make a play. And like you talked about, Williams able to get his hand in late, holding just a little bit, but was able to let go right there as the football arrived. And that's one that obviously Will Rogers wants back.
Fair catch called for, but the ball will hit and be down. Fry back there again for Texas Tech, but the ball down at the 5-yard line. 13-7, Red Raiders out in front, 3rd quarter football.
The AutoZone Liberty Bowl is brought to you by FedEx, where now meets next.
Well, in 2004, Sonny Cumbie had one of those days you dream about as a kid. Starting quarterback at Texas Tech in the Holiday Bowl against Cal, came in ranked 4th in the country. Aaron Rodgers, Marshawn Lynch on that team. Cumbie went for 520 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. He threw it 60 times, completed 39 of them, as Texas Tech beat the Bears 45-31. What a day. And of course, the man who was coaching Texas Tech that day on the Bulldog sideline right now, Mike Leach. Big hitter down the middle. Kuntz, who had a great game against Baylor in their last outing, has another big gain there. Had a 75-yard touchdown against the Bears. And that one goes for 39.
David, you see Tech get up on the line, play with a little tempo, and they just do a nice job of being able to get to the 3rd level to be able to hit Kuntz on that pass.
Smith will throw it again. Has a man at the 20-yard line. Caught there. Bradley. They will spot him out just inside the 1-yard line. 52 more yards.
And you can see Donovan just the confidence gaining. Cumbie talked about wanting some more passing yardage going. He's able to look off the safety. And that's Richardson that got beat, who is in for Emerson right now.
Inside the 1. First down and goal. Smith will keep it himself. Touchdown. Things getting a little feisty down at that goal line. Texas Tech didn't take him long.
And that's an offensive lineman protecting his quarterback is what that's about. And you talked about Donovan Smith being a dual threat guy, being able to throw it and run it, and he's the extra guy as far as a runner there on the goal line, able to take the football in. And the extracurricular was because how he was thrown down there at the end, and the offensive lineman is always going to come in and protect his guy.
How about 4 plays, 95 yards, and 1 minute, and a couple of big pass plays. First went 39 yards to their tight end.
Well, the first one, I mean, I think you look at how he was just able to look off that safety, and DeCamerion Richardson really got beat at the line of scrimmage, and here's the touchdown run, and he's a big body guy. And you talk about Watson, he's got to get a lot lower than that if you're going to tackle Donovan Smith. And the extra stuff came because the offensive lineman came in. They're going to always protect those quarterbacks. Mississippi State has been able, offensively, they've been able to do some things, but they've kind of always bogged down right around, maybe at the 3rd and short level. Just hadn't been able to get any rhythm and put anything together.
(20-7). Now, I will say this about this Mississippi State team is they trail in this one by 13. They have had some memorable comebacks this year.
I definitely don't think they're out of it. I mean, because of how their offense is able to hit you, they can make some plays. But this Texas Tech defense has definitely made some plays itself.
Short kick taken there by Marks. And he's out to the 23-yard line. Hey, bowl season rolls on Thursday night with number 12 Pittsburgh against number 10 Michigan State. That'll be in the 53rd annual Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Our coverage starts at 7 Eastern on ESPN and the app. One app, one tap. Of course, Jordan Addison was the 2021 Biletnikoff Award winner. His numbers are staggering this season, and there's a reason why he won the award. That'll work. 93 for 1479. How about 17 touchdowns?
Yeah, that's pretty good. Not bad at all. And that's entering into bowl season.
I've got an injured Mississippi State player. That looks like DeMonte Russell down on the ground around the 22-yard line. Talking about those comebacks, and Mississippi State trailed Louisiana Tech by 20, came back to win that one. They trailed Auburn by 25. They came back to win that one. They scored 40 straight against the Tigers.
Looking at that lower right leg of Russell. As a Texas Tech player kind of fell on the back of it, that right leg.
Russell hopping up gingerly, which gives us a chance to take a look at the Bowl Challenge Cup standings, brought to you by Progressive. How about the AAC right now at 3-1? Mountain West at 5-1. Sun Belt off to a good start at 3-1. SEC's going to have to pick it up. They're sitting there at 0-3 right now. And for the Big 12, this is their first go at it in bowl season. Tell you what, this amount of bodies that are not available now, and you throw DeMonte Russell perhaps into that mix as well. Defensively, it's tough right now for Zach Arnett to get a solid 11 on the field. Offensively, Mississippi State's got to do their part. Little shovel pass goes forward to Dylan Johnson. That's a big hitter out over the 40, down to the 42-yard line. That's a gain of 17 to start this drive.
A nice play design to be able to get the football just to Dylan Johnson. You have a light box, only 5 guys in the box, and it'll count as a pass, but pretty much just like a running play for him.
Pass caught near side by Calvin. 26 catches on the year now for Jameer. It'll be second down and 9.
If you're Texas Tech, you want to keep everything in front of you, not give up the explosive play. Make Mississippi State have to use some of this clock, take some time off the clock before they get into the red zone or even, perhaps scoring.
Red Raiders bringing 4. They'll dump it underneath to Johnson, but he's surrounded by white jerseys. He'll pick up 3. Schooler, first one there for Texas Tech. Schooler now up to 6 tackles. Also has a sack today. Up to 103 tackles this season now for Colin Schooler, the senior who transferred in from Arizona. Second team all Big 12.
And that's a nice job by Schooler being able to, basically, you got Johnson one-on-one. You're able to slow him down a little bit, but help is on the way.
Jernigan and Marks in the backfield. Rogers. That pass is caught. Austin Williams at the 45 of Texas Tech, and that's a first down for the Bulldogs after a 10-yard gain.
And you love for Mississippi State to use a little tempo. I know they don't use a lot of tempo. They get up to the line of scrimmage, but it just looks like that they get a little momentum going, Dave, and then it almost it kind of slows down and stops.
Looks left, throws right. We'll pick up 5 to the 40-yard line. Bulldogs finally getting a little bit of rhythm offensively.
And they're getting a little bit of going. You've got Polk that's been able to make some catches for you. Austin Williams being able to make some catches. Earlier you had Thomas running the little in cut or the dig route earlier. They just bogged down on third down.
6 for 48 for Polk. Rogers 20 of 33 for 180. And that one will bring out some flags. Thomas on a deep slant.
I think that was Fields that had the coverage, and it looked like he pulled him a little bit early.
Pass interference. Defense, number 23. That's an automatic first down.
We'll take another look at it, and Fields has got Thomas press coverage. Just running that, and he did. He tugged him right there on that shoulder pad. And
Fields in his 6th year. Second team all Big 12 performer. First down and 10 for the 25. Dillon will run the football against that 3-man front. He'll get it to the 20. So a gain of 5 there. Eric Monroe comes up to make the tackle. Monroe coming off a career-high 13 total stops against Baylor. Of course, Monroe has a national championship ring. He was a member of that LSU club in 2019. One of the best ever assembled in the history of the game.
a lot of guys on that team playing on Sundays. Monroe obviously hoping he gets that opportunity as well.
Second down and 5. Texas Tech bringing some pressure. Rogers going to the corner of the end zone. He was trying to hit Thomas again.
And that time you're coming all the way across the field, and that being Thomas, and it looked like, you know, he and Rogers just not able to connect. Once the football was where the football was placed, as far as on his release, there was no way for Thomas to be able to adjust to be able to catch that football.
So it'll be 3rd down and 5.
Another big 3rd down for Mississippi State.
How about this stat? In the second half, Bulldogs have run it once. They've thrown for it 17 times. This will be number 18. Rogers, though, can't get it away. He'll be dropped. Back at the 33, Tyree Wilson.
Dave, we've seen Wilson make a play on the running back, and here he's rushing the quarterback, and this is probably the first time. That time he's matched up on a guard, and he's able to beat Cole Smith inside. He started out at the defensive end. He goes inside, and you know, Mississippi State doesn't have their normal tackles in this game. Cole Smith kind of filling in and playing. He's played some at that guard for Mississippi State, but gets beaten. Now Mississippi State is forced to go for it on 4th down.
And a long way to go. 4th and 16. They got to get down to the 15-yard line. Rogers under pressure. Didn't have any time at all. Tyree Wilson. They can't stop him right now. Going forward on 4th and 16, but Tyree Wilson says, not on my watch. Let's take a look at today's clutch delivery brought to you by Chipotle. And, well, Tyree Wilson, the transfer from Texas A&M, the last 2 plays, he's been unblockable. He now has 3 tackles. 2 of those are sacks. He has 3 pressures, and those were 2 huge plays, especially stopping the Bulldogs on 4th down.
Hey, on the 3rd down play, he was lined up on Cole Smith, and that one, he just beat Cole Smith. The next one, it should have been passed off to the right tackle. They were running a stunt, and the right tackle and Cole Smith didn't get together, and he ends up with a sack.
Toss a little end around for Texas Tech. That'll be close to midfield. Gain of 7. Let's go downstairs to Andrea.
Guys, a lot of energy on this Texas Tech sideline, and things getting very chippy right now.
Uh-oh.
I will say this Texas Tech sideline is absolutely fired up. Tyree Wilson came over and started cranking the pump jack. Pump jack mentality has been this team's motto all season long, as far as you do your job to the best of your ability over and over again. And defensive coordinator Keith Patterson is not satisfied. He came over to the sidelines and said, hey, we just need a takeaway. Can we get a takeaway? This team is fired up.
You mentioned that pump jack. That is something. There's a chain that Sonny Cumbie brought when he became interim coach. He brought it and said, whoever has the best practice, gives me the best effort, is going to get the chain that day. There's Forbes from Mississippi State. And
it really was one of the line officials that kind of fell and hit the board.
Well, they'll go with Geiger. And that'll be close to the 1st down. They will give him the 1st down. But that pump jack chain, the team coming into this bowl game gave that chain to Sonny Cumbie and said, hey, you know what, Coach? You've been giving this to us all year. You need to take this with you. You earned this. So they gave it to Sonny Cumbie as a gift as he wraps up his Texas Tech tenure here tonight before he heads off to become the head coach at Louisiana Tech.
That's pretty special. That shows you that he has the respect of those players as well.
4-man rush. Donovan Smith. Pass caught for a 1st down. That one goes to J.J. Sparkman, and he is to the 35-yard line, a gain of 15. Brooks, the carry, breaks one tackle, can't get through the second one. And an injured Mississippi State player, Fred Peters, down on the turf, but there it is. The team gave that chain to him and said, Coach, you gave us your best effort. And you know it's been a tough month for him trying to handle two programs. And that has to mean so much to Sonny Cumbie as he heads off to Louisiana Tech.
Coach Cumbie has definitely been fired up and got a Mississippi State player down. I think that's going to be Nathan Pickering, Dave, that's kind of injured down on the field.
I thought that Peters made the tackle on that play. And it's Pickering that they are attending to right now. And it's, again, I mean, you're out four. Four of your top 6 defensive linemen were unavailable for this game to begin with. Nathan Pickering was your nose tackle. They're moving him out to defensive tackle because of all the personnel they're without.
And so he's been playing defensive end for you, and he's able to jog off the field. We saw earlier DeMonte Russell kind of get beat up as well and got hurt. So now he's out of the game. So Mississippi State has to get some healthy guys back.
Coming up next, we'll cap off our bowl quadruple header with West Virginia and Minnesota in the Guaranteed Rate Bowl. Of course, you can always watch it on the ESPN app from anywhere you may be. That'll be coming your way 10:15 Eastern Time. Neil Brown trying to finish on a positive note with West Virginia. Here's Donovan Smith off the left side, breaks one tackle down to the 15-yard line. That is 6'5", 230 pounds coming at you, who picks up 17.
And they go right now on the ball, lining up to force Mississippi State to play it again.
Flag is down.
And that should be against the Red Raiders. I don't think they were set.
False start. Offense. Number 7. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Red Raiders subbing a couple guys out. 1st and 15, and at Mississippi State defense, we can see if they can come up with any type of stop to slow down this run game.
Coming near side, big hit around the 12-yard line as Geiger picks up 8 yards. Boy, there is a lot of chirping going on right now. A lot of chirping.
That's the same end around that they had earlier at midfield. That he had the little skirmish on the sideline. They come right back to it. Forbes is able to hit Geiger right there on the sideline, and they have a few words for each other. Now Mississippi State trying to run a guy out on the field, and he'll have an opportunity to sub late.
Here's Miles Price trying to turn the corner to the end zone. There is a flag down. They're going to call a hold.
Holding. Offense number 80. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
Dave, we've seen this Red Raiders offense be able to hit inside with a lot of their run plays, but the last couple of plays, everything has been on the edge, and they are just making Mississippi State have to cover the complete field. Here you'll see him just be able to pull just a little bit there on Forbes before Price can get to the corner and get in the end zone.
Second down and 16. Keep it on the ground with Brooks. Texas Tech has now rushed for almost 250 yards. That is the most allowed by a Bulldog defense this year. They have put up 412 yards. Actually make that 403 yards of offense. This is play number 60 of the night for the Red Raiders. Smith buying a little time, throwing to the back of the end zone, caught, touchdown. J.J. Sparkman, 14 yards. It is a 27-7 game here at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Texas Tech came in as a 9-point underdog in this one.
Just watch Donovan Smith work this pocket. Doesn't really have anything early, and then he's able to keep his eyes down the field, and he throws it where his big receiver, Sparkman, can go up and get it. You know, just buying time to let Sparkman come open. Just really nice job of Donovan Smith keeping his eyes down the field. Andrea alluded to earlier how he wanted to be a passer. We know that he can run with the football. There, it pays off for him.
Sonny Cumbie loving it. Time for the pump jack. J.J. Sparkman with that touchdown reception. His second of the year. That is just, those are staggering numbers. Just didn't see that one coming. You expected with the amount of players missing defensively that it would be a struggle for the Bulldogs. But the fact that they're sitting on 195 yards.
Offensively, that's the surprising part.
So the Bulldog offense will have 15 minutes to try to rally the troops. They are down 20. It has been a tough night if you're a Bulldog fan. Just offense hadn't been there tonight. He trailed by 20 on the flip side. Texas Tech trying for their first winning season since 2015. And Sonny Cumbie knows that Mississippi State has rallied a couple of times from substantial deficits. And they want to close it out and pick up their 7th win of the season. An important drive here for Mississippi State. They will run it here with Marks.
Mississippi State will have to pick up their tempo here.
Rogers again. They're trying to get it to Marks, and he was all covered up by a couple of white jerseys. Pressure that time again from Wilson. That's his 4th pressure tonight to go along with a couple of sacks. Now it's 3rd and 4.
And Wilson has kind of moved really all over that offensive line, and he's able to get up underneath the lineman there. And he's played, you know, he's been over the guard, he's been over the right tackle, the left tackle. He's just moved really all over that defensive line for Texas Tech.
3rd down and 4. Pressure comes. Rogers, quick hitter over the middle. Passes caught. Williams, he'll have it near midfield. They'll spot him at the 48-yard line, but a big 14-yard gain. And there is a flag down back at the 25-yard line, so hold on one moment.
I think this is after the play, though, Dave. I think those offensive linemen and D linemen, they've been going at it, and I think this is going to be, should be a first down for Mississippi State. This flag should be after the play.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 66 of the offense. It'll be a first down. The plays will be administered. It'll be 1st and 10.
Yeah, and so Nick Jones, that defensive line and offensive line for Mississippi State, they've been going at it a little bit, and so the flag came after the catch, and which was a really nice route, nice play design. It was a natural pick for Austin Williams. But that's where, as an offensive lineman, you've just got to, hey, look, you know, we've got a first down, we're moving on, and I'm not going to cost my team 15 yards.
Well, they were at the 48. Now they'll set up shop at the 33-yard line. 1st down and 10. 3-man look from Texas Tech. Little tall sweep. Marks will get it out to the 38-yard line. I mean, this is one of those tough situations when the team lines up with 3 down linemen, dropping 8, hard to throw. I don't care who you are. Now you're kind of forced to run the football, but you're down 20.
You're down 20, and that becomes a problem. And then the clock is not your friend now.
Quick hitter near side. That one is dropped by Wally.
And in that situation, I don't know if you would have gained anything with the catch anyway, so maybe a drop is best because the game clock stops. Texas Tech has brought a little bit of pressure, but I mean, they've been able to get there with Tyree Wilson for the most part this second half. Slot pressure coming.
Texas Tech bringing the heat. Catch is made there by Makai Polk. That'll pick up 9 and move the chain. Big first down for the Bulldogs. See what they can do here with a fresh set of downs.
One that was definitely needed, and like you talked about, they get the football back right where they would have had it if not for the penalty.
Just took about 90 seconds off the clock. Rogers steps up in the pocket, fires, and behind the intended target around the 40-yard line. That was trying to hit Rufus Harvey.
Talked about that. Red Raiders defense only rushing 3 guys and having to be perfect, dropping the football into certain zone coverages.
Will shovel it to Marks. He will take it down to the 46. He'll be a few yards shy of the line to gain, so it'll be 3rd down and 2 or 3. Will Rogers now with 735 completions in his young career. He just passed Dak Prescott for most completions in school history already. That is picked off. Interception, Texas Tech back at the 15-yard line. I couldn't tell if he held on to it or not, but Monroe gets the interception, and Texas Tech will take over. The senior out of Houston, Texas, coming up with a big one. His 2nd pick of the year. And it comes at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, and his club up 20. Just the 9th interception and 671 pass attempts this year for Will Rogers, and this is what it looked like.
Yeah, and you can watch him, you know, you've got to be able to move that free safety particularly, and it looked like pre-snap that he had decided he was going to Harvey, and you can go and look, and he has the slot open. Jameer Calvin is open on that play. Now, I will say DeMarcus Fields probably got away with a little tugging on Harvey a little bit, but not enough to pull him down, and that's how Eric Monroe comes up with the interception.
Donovan Smith, who's been red hot of late, tries to keep it going, and he does. Pass is caught by Miles Price, still on his feet down to the 33-yard line.
Donovan Smith with another dime, and that's Corey Ellington trying to cover Miles Price and can't do it.
Smith coming near side. This one's a little too high. Looking for Kalen Geiger. Emmanuel Forbes back there in coverage.
Dave, we wondered, would one coach or the other take his kind of foot off the pedal if this score got kind of squirrely? And Coach Cumbie has not taken his foot off the pedal. They are still pushing this football down the field.
It is second down and 10. 11:41 to play. Pressure comes. They will swing it to White. Turns the corner. White to the 15, down to the 12-yard line. That is a gain of 20.
It's a perfect call. It's a screen, and we haven't seen it a lot of them. But I mean, it's a one-man screen, and you can see Donovan Smith just buy some time to allow White to get out to be able to catch it. And Mississippi State doesn't have anyone out in the flat to be able to cover him.
And White's the guy they throw to out of the backfield. He has 17 catches coming into this one. Thompson and Brooks, their two main backs, have combined for just 12 catches. They'll give it to White here. He's inside the 10. Lost the football. It's still on the ground.
Mississippi State recovering.
They're going to say he's down by the reaction of everybody around the 9-yard line.
Yeah, his elbow was down when the ball came loose.
Two tight end set. That handoff goes to Thompson, and he spins, falls forward inside the 3, or right at the 3, but that'll be first and goal now for Texas Tech.
Dave, we've talked about it numerous times, Mississippi State being without certain defensive linemen, and it finally caught up. And, you know, really, Texas Tech was having success early in the game running the football against that Mississippi State defensive front. And they've just won continuously today.
5 plays, 72 yards on this drive. Keep it on the ground. Go with Thompson. He'll pick up a yard. Tyrus Wheat with the tackle. This Texas Tech team started the year 4-1 and 5-2. And just could not muster much down the stretch. They lost 4 of their last 5 coming into this game, but you certainly couldn't tell by the way they have performed here tonight. Trying to punch it in one more time, and they do so. Behind Thompson. His 33rd career rushing touchdown. 6th all-time at Texas Tech.
Go back and watch it, Dave, and they've run split zone back-to-back-to-back plays, and they've just got movement, been able to crease that defensive line, and Thompson is able to walk into the end zone.
at 34-7. 8:47 to go, and this has been all Texas Tech tonight. Over 500 yards of offense. Sonny Cumbie, his last game at Texas Tech, has gone well to this point.
The AutoZone Liberty Bowl is brought to you by AutoZone. Free battery testing and charging at every store. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Well, the bell is ringing right now for Texas Tech. They look to take home the AutoZone Liberty Bowl trophy. They can hold on. 8:47 to go, and their lead is 34-7. It has been all Texas Tech tonight here in Memphis. First meeting between these clubs since 1970. Sonny Cumbie off to Louisiana Tech after this one to run that program, which under Skip Holtz had some fantastic seasons. And he has some talent coming back to work with over in Ruston. Time to get an update. Let's get you to the studio. Kevin, what's happening, buddy?
Well, guys, Tanner Morgan and the Minnesota Golden Gophers eyeing their third straight bowl win under P.J. Fleck, fifth straight overall, set to take on West Virginia in the Guaranteed Rate Bowl. Kickoff here on ESPN comes your way 10:15 Eastern from Arizona, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. Minnesota finished the year 6-2. One of those losses was a 5-pointer to Iowa. So the Gophers playing pretty well down the stretch. We'll see what West Virginia has in store for them. They're trying to finish with a positive record. They're 6-6 heading into that bowl game. And what a job by Texas Tech's defensive coordinator tonight. We've talked a lot about Sonny Cumbie, but Coach Patterson has put together a fantastic defensive game plan here tonight for Texas Tech, and he is off to become a head coach, his first head coaching job. He's going to Abilene Christian. Big run here off the right side. Pushed out of bounds as Dylan Johnson gets into Texas Tech territory.
David, really, that's really what you thought you would get a lot of from Mississippi State earlier, at least, you know, being able to get to that second level and make plays. But you talked about it, that Red Raiders defense has been all over the field, making plays in the back end, but also putting pressure on Will Rogers.
Coach Patterson didn't think he'd have an opportunity to be a head coach. Thought his time was running out, but he got an opportunity now with Abilene Christian.
Yeah, and when he said it running out, just because of age, just because so many teams have moved to younger guys as far as head coach, but he does get his chance to be a head coach.
Dan Lanning, who's now the head coach at Oregon, of course, going to coach the defense coordinator for Georgia in the college football playoffs, was a grad assistant with Coach Patterson at Pittsburgh, and he sees one of his young guys get a job. And down goes Rogers again. Tony Bradford this time, able to get to number 2. That is the 4th sack tonight for this Red Raider defense. They came in with just 16 sacks on the year.
It's another twist. It's another stunt. That's really how Tyree Wilson was able to get a lot of his production when he had a sack on 3rd down and 4th down. And this time, Bradford is able to pick up a sack, and it's a twist. It's a stunt up front, and that Mississippi State offensive line not having your normal 2 tackles, that's what happens. You can't pick it up.
3rd down and 18 now. Dump it off to Johnson underneath. Looks like a loose football again on the turf. Boy, Texas Tech is just swarming, and they will have the football.
Wow.
A bewildered look from Mike Leach. DeMarcus Fields comes up with that football. The Red Raiders trying to close this one out. Another turnover by the Bulldogs. ESPN's College Football Playoff MegaCast is back again this year. MegaCast coverage available for both college football semifinal games this Friday on ESPN and the app. As it all comes down to this, the College Football Playoff semifinals. Friday, December 31st on ESPN and, of course, the app. Heisman winner Bryce Young, #1 Alabama, taking on #4 Cincinnati in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, 3:30 Eastern. Then it's #2 Michigan, #3 Georgia in the Capital One Orange Bowl. And the winners will square off for the title on Monday, January 10th on ESPN. Texas Tech trying to win this AutoZone Liberty Bowl title. 6:20 to go. Travis Kuntz making the catch, brought down by Fred Peters. And we were just talking about in the break, you know, for Mississippi State, it's all about the trenches tonight. And they lost a bunch of dudes before the game even started. 2 tackles, bunch of D linemen. It's hard to play and be competitive without winning that battle.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And Texas Tech was just physical up front with them, and they were able to, you know, hit them with a couple stunts defensively. But their offensive line has been able to get pushed all game.
They'll run it near side. Texas Tech has run for 260 yards. They have put up over 500 yards of offense. And they have just put pressure on Will Rogers all night on the other side of the football.
You're talking about a Mississippi State defense that was only giving up 100 yards rushing.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously missing some of those players definitely hurts. But I mean, I don't think that they would have given up that many yards.
Texas Tech came in here ready to go. Opening drive, they just marched it down the field by way of the run. They went 75 yards on the first possession tonight for a touchdown. This one's lofted in the air and almost a miraculous catch by Rigdon, but he couldn't hold on. And it'll be 4th down.
Jemison with the coverage there, and that was another shot play down the field, bringing pressure off of the edge. Donovan Smith trying to connect. Mississippi State obviously continue to play hard in this game.
Wally back to return this punt. Austin McNamara. This will hit at the 20 and take a favorable Texas Tech bounce inside the 5. Where will this end up? How about at the 1-yard line? A 60-yard punt. The guy's a magician with his right foot. 34-7, 4:38 to play. Be sure to tune in to the ESPN app for the Capital One postgame immediately following this one. Austin McNamara has had some kind of year. 48-yard average per punt. And he even gets to go over to the pump jack. How about the game he had against Oklahoma State? Now, Texas Tech was blanked 23-0 in the game, but he punted 8 times, and every one of those punts went over 50 yards. And a big hit on Marks as Reggie Pearson comes flying in.
That is when you talk about same foot, same shoulder. Reggie Pearson, he comes in and he's high as far as with the tackle, but he leads with that right shoulder. I think he just caught Marks off guard.
Yeah, I don't even think Marks saw him for some reason.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Second down and 10 after that collision. Rogers from the end zone dumps it off to Marks underneath. He gets it out to the 10-yard line. He'll be about a yard shy.
Dave, when you look at this Mississippi State team, particularly offensively, we've talked about how young they are. You know, you were able to get a lot of that production back with your quarterback and receivers, and I think that's one of the things that they're going to have to really say, hey, look, we can grow with because we have a lot of skill pieces in place.
First down, out to around the 17-yard line. Yeah, that's something that Coach Lee was talking to us about this week, was about the excitement of knowing that you're getting all these pieces back on a team that finished 7-5, but realistically should have 8 wins, if not 9 wins, after what happened here at the Liberty Bowl in the game against Memphis.
Well, I think, you know, you have to obviously replace your left tackle position and figure out what you're going to do at right tackle. But overall, you've got some playmakers. And, I mean, anytime that you have a player of Will Rogers' caliber, that gives you a chance. Now it's just filling out, hey, look, can we protect him? You know, what can we do to give him some of that protection and then continue to develop offensively what we want to do?
This will be a tough one for the coach. Obviously, some animosity with some of the administration in his time, tenure at Texas Tech. But certainly reinvigorated the South Plains while he was their head coach for a decade. Austin Williams with a catch out over the 40 to the 47-yard line. I mean, he certainly brought Texas Tech into the national conversation. Hey, New Year's Day, look at this lineup of bowl games we have for you on ESPN and, of course, the app. Number 9 Oklahoma State takes on number 5 Notre Dame in the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl at 1 Eastern. Then it's 11th ranked Utah, number 6 Ohio State squaring off in the Rose Bowl game presented by Capital One Venture X. And we cap the day with 7th ranked Baylor, number 8 Ole Miss, the All-State Sugar Bowl. Another fantastic day of bowls to ring in the new year. I'm really looking forward to that Baylor-Ole Miss matchup. That should be fun to watch.
Should be interesting. I mean, you got Dave Aranda and Lane Kiffin matching up. And they've obviously went against each other when, you know, Dave is at LSU and Coach Kiff at Alabama. Should be an exciting one. And Coach McGuire, what he has coming back here at Texas Tech. It's going to be interesting to see how many of those players he keeps, but you have to love what you have with Donovan Smith at quarterback for you.
Under 2 minutes to play. Texas Tech at a finish with a winning record. Mississippi State will lose for the 6th time this year. These two clubs actually set to meet in 2028 and 2029.
No realignment with conference. Anything will affect that.
Will Rogers trying to get out of bounds before he gets hit, does so. And now for tonight's Capital One Player of the Game, we'll give it to the redshirt freshman quarterback Donovan Smith, who really in the second half, man, found his comfort zone. 15 of 28, 252 overall with 1 touchdown. Also had 30 yards on the ground and a touchdown run. And certainly he will be something to build upon. The quarterback battle at Texas Tech next year will be interesting. Baron Morton, a youngster, one of the most highly touted, if not the most highly touted quarterback to ever sign with Texas Tech out of Eastland High School. And Tyler Shuck will be back. Of course, Tyler was their starter at the beginning of this year, and then collarbone injury has shut down his season, although he has been back working a little bit with this team during their bowl practices. So certainly for Coach McGuire, he'll have some decisions to make there.
Oh, definitely a lot of decisions. I mean, but you have to be proud and pleased at least what Donovan Smith has been able to do and what he's been able to accomplish. You know, when you talk about losing your offensive coordinator, losing your head coach mid-season and still being able to fight through and be able to go out and execute an offense and be able to win games.
Pass is complete, but nowhere to go is Calvin. And we're under a minute to play. So for Mississippi State, this will be a tough one to swallow, obviously, but you look at the big picture. And you think about the future offensively. There's a lot to be excited about. For Texas Tech, they're all smiles tonight, right now, in the moment. Donovan Smith will pick up his 2nd win as a Red Raider starting quarterback.
can see Coach Comby on the sideline. They just gave him the Gatorade bath as he enjoys it. We talked about how he gets ready to go over to Ruston, Louisiana, to take over that Louisiana Tech program.
Spent a lot of time with Mike Leach as a player. There is Keith Patterson. He got doused in the Gatorade as well. It'll be tough to say goodbye for that man who will leave his alma mater to go coach Louisiana Tech. As he was telling us, it's all about the players.
And that's exactly what he made it about. I mean, that's a tough job. You have one coach that will return off of this staff. And those guys all that are leaving, they gave it up for these kids.
You just know it's a tough one for that man. He probably had a little extra fire in his belly. Still trying to get some $2.5 million from Texas Tech. Feels like he's owed that. He has lost a couple of lawsuits, but he and his attorney says it is not over yet. But this one is over, and Texas Tech captures the 2021 AutoZone Liberty Bowl in fantastic fashion, 34-7. He and Coach Patterson celebrate for the last time before they go their separate ways. What a night to be a Red Raider. Reckham was on full display inside the Liberty Bowl.
Definitely hats off to Texas Tech Red Raiders. They came out from the first drive, the opening drive, and able to put up 7 points. And they set the tone that they were not just here to enjoy this bowl, but they were here to win it.
512 yards of offense for Texas Tech. They hold Mississippi State to 344, less than 300 yards passing. Snapping a streak of 10 straight games for Will Rogers, throwing over 300 yards. So our final score from the AutoZone Liberty Bowl here in Memphis. Texas Tech wins it 34-7 over Mississippi State. Next on ESPN College Football Scoreboard, Kevin Connors and Jesse Palmer take you through the day's news and highlights. So for Deuce McAllister and Andre Carter, I'm Dave Neal. So long, everybody.